before I had the stem cell treatment, my life was a little bit on the miserable side. I had had a lung surgery on my right lung for an aspergillus infection, which they didn't know was aspergillus at the time. Very restricted as far as my breathing is concerned. I would get short of breath with very little exertion. It was very frustrating, very frustrating.
He just like would lay around the house sometimes to just watch golf and not be productive and do things.
Traveling beforehand had gotten to the point where it was very cumbersome. I had to have wheelchair assist to be able to get from check-in through security and to the gates because I just couldn't handle all the walking.
We would travel, but whenever we would travel, he wouldn't do like all the fun activities that would be on the agenda.
I had heard about it, and then I started reading that they actually had developed stem cell treatment for COPD patients. So I started investigating different companies, and my pulmonary doctor was actually of great assistance to me in narrowing it down to Stemedix. I went down to the hotel the day before the procedure. Then I went to the facility that day for, basically a little education as to what the procedure was going to be like. And they picked me up and took me, and they brought me back to the hotel. And had a regular evening that evening. And then in the morning they came and got me, and went down for the procedure. The staff were just absolutely incredible, very, very friendly, very courteous, concerned about my comfort. And of course, when you go in for the liposuction section of it, that's a little bit intimidating. But the doctor was exceptionally good. And the actual treatment itself, once they had harvested the stem cells, I had a breathalyzer treatment, like a nebulizer, first, and then they introduced the rest of the stem cells through an IV process, which took about a half hour, 45 minutes, I guess. And then it was off the table, get dressed and go home, back to the hotel. And they took me back to the hotel. And then the next morning they came and got me, and went back, and the doctor checked the incisions. That was it. I was on my way.
But after the treatment, it's like, whoa, this is a different person. I don't know who you are. So I'm kind of glad he did this treatment.
I've started to notice a difference almost right away. I don't know how much of that was psychological, but definitely an improvement. I mean, here it is, it's almost a year later, and Christmas Day I played 36 holes of golf. I never would have been able to do that 2 or 3 years ago.
Didn't get winded as much. His hair started growing a lot quicker. It was like, oh, you're not bald anymore. You actually have hair. And just he was more, he did more things, like he was more active and not just a slug on the couch watching golf.
They classify me now as having emphysema, and my father passed away from emphysema, so it's obviously a big concern of mine. But my life has changed a lot since I had the stem cell treatment in February. I have a lot more energy. I don't get seriously short of breath at all. I don't need to use breathalyzers and inhalers. It's allowing me to play golf. It's allowing me to go back to playing music, which I love doing. And I'm a drummer, and it takes a lot of energy to do a whole set or a whole concert. And I don't get short of breath from any of that. It's really, really good.
And then once he had his treatment, it was like boom, boom, boom. Like, you're going from 50 miles an hour and I'm going 10. Slow down, Dad.
Definitely as far as my daughter's concerned, because I've always been very active athletically. And, I wasn't able to do a lot of things that I would normally have done with her, like rollerblading, skiing, etc.
We recently did a cruise to the Caribbean, and we're going again because we had a lot of fun. And we went in a submarine, like 111 feet under the ocean. It's pretty cool. Saw a shipwreck. He did a lot more walking. That's something I noticed immediately. I'm like, oh, you're walking more. So he's just been more active.
Well, my wife's reaction to it has been extremely positive. She's very pleased with the difference that she sees in my physical abilities. And she's encouraging me to have additional treatments, which I think I'm definitely going to. I don't think, I know I'm going to do it. Even just as a maintenance, because it's obviously stopped the advancement of the COPD, in my opinion.
Like, I can do more fun things with him. Like, we can do more traveling together. And I'm really excited. I can take him to theme parks now and he won't get exhausted.
After the treatment, I've had full pulmonary inspections by my pulmonary doctor, full breath tests, and compared to the year before, my breathing and my lung capacity has improved about 10%, which I was really shocked at. So were the folks at Stemedix. I think the future looks great. I think instead of looking at myself deteriorating over the next, maybe 8 or 9 years, I'm looking to get up into the 100 years age category and to still be a pain in the butt to all my friends.
We're gonna make a lot more memories than besides just sitting on a couch, watching golf, and doing absolutely nothing. Now we're traveling, most likely gonna travel the world.
Just that my life has changed, and it gives me a much, much more positive outlook. And it tells me that I'm going to be able to be at my daughter's graduation. It tells me that when the time comes, I'm going to be able to walk her down the aisle. And those are things that were concerns of mine, which now are not.
Well, he's just an amazing person. In general, I love him so much.
Call Stemedix, for sure. There's no harm in it, and certainly I can attest to the fact that to me it's been a benefit, definitely been a benefit.